One twin dies, but the other starts feeling emotions and memories that aren't his. It was just an ordinary day for 26-year-old Kai when he heard the news that changed everything. His twin brother Ken had died. The twins were identical in appearance, but they were complete opposites in terms of personality. While Kai was outgoing and cheerful, Ken was shy and quiet. Even their interests differed vastly. Despite this, they were extremely close and knew each other better than anyone else. They finished each other's sentences and could predict what the other would do next. So when Kai got the call that Ken had been in a car accident, he immediately knew something was wrong. The twins' parents were inconsolable. They felt like a part of them had been ripped away, and for the first few days, Kai couldn't bring himself to eat or sleep. He sat by Ken's bedside in the hospital, holding his hand and whispering jokes they used to share, but there was no response. The doctors told him that it was just a matter of time before his brother passed away. When Ken finally did pass away, Kai's heart broke into a million pieces. It felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. He cried for hours, unable to stop the tears from flowing. He didn't want to accept the fact that he would never see his brother again. A week went by and Kai still hadn't accepted the reality of his brother's death. He couldn't focus on work and barely slept. He kept replaying the day Ken died in his head, trying to find some kind of explanation. That's when he started having strange dreams. He would dream of being in Kenny's body and experiencing things from his brother E's point of view. At first, he thought it was just his subconscious mind trying to cope with the loss. But then something even stranger happened. He started feeling emotions that weren't his. One evening, he was watching a video of Ken playing the piano when he felt a surge of emotion come over him. It was a deep, overwhelming feeling of joy that brought tears to his eyes. He had never seen Ken play the piano before, yet he felt like he was the one playing the instrument. It was as if Ken's soul was trying to communicate with him. As time went on, these feelings became more intense. He started feeling Ken's sadness, his anger, his frustration, his happiness, his love, everything. It was like he was the one going through all of those emotions. He could feel Ken's presence in his dreams, and they would talk to each other as if Ken was still alive. At first, he thought he was going crazy. How could he be feeling his dead brother's emotions? But then he realized that there was a scientific explanation for it. In 2014, a study published in the Journal of Neuroscience showed that identical twins have mirror neurons in their brains that allow them to understand and feel what the other is going through. These neurons are also activated when we see someone else perform an action, but they are especially strong in identical twins. The study suggests that these mirror neurons allow twins to develop a special bond and that they can feel what the other is feeling, even if they are separated by distance or time. Kai wasn't sure if he should be happy or scared. On one hand, it was comforting to know that Ken was still with him in a way, but on the other hand, it was exhausting to feel another person's emotions so intensely, he couldn't tell where. His feelings ended and Ken's began. He felt like he was losing his identity. One day he was at work when he suddenly felt a strong emotion come over him. It was a feeling of intense fear and he couldn't control it. He started shaking and sweating and he had to take the rest of the day off. That's when he decided to visit a therapist. He explained his situation to the therapist and she listened patiently. She told him that what he was going through was not normal, but it was also not crazy. She suggested that he try to focus on his own feelings and learn to distinguish them from Kenny's. It wouldn't be easy, but with time and practice, he could do it. After leaving the therapist's office, Kai felt a sense of relief wash over him. He knew that he couldn't keep living like this forever. He had to move on, but it wasn't easy. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Ken's face. Every time he heard a song, he remembered the time Ken had taught him the lyrics. Every time he smelled his brother's favorite cologne, he felt a wave of sadness come over him. But slowly but surely he started to feel better. He started focusing on his own feelings and he learned to distinguish them from Ken's. He started going back to work and spending time with friends. He even started dating a girl he had met at the gym. She was beautiful and funny, and she made him laugh like no one else could. One day he was at the park with his new girlfriend when he felt a sudden surge of emotion come over him. It was a feeling of intense joy, and he knew that it wasn't his. He stopped in his tracks and closed his eyes. When he opened them, he looked at his girlfriend and smiled. He knew what he had to do. He broke up with her. His girlfriend was confused and hurt, but Kai couldn't help it. He knew that he wasn't ready for a relationship. He needed to focus on himself. He needed to move on from his brother's death. It was a long and difficult process, but eventually he did move on. He started traveling and taking care of himself. He started volunteering at a local animal shelter. And he even took up painting as a hobby. He started feeling more like himself again. Years went by and Kai became a successful painter. His paintings were displayed in galleries around the world, and he was known for his unique style. But no matter how successful he became, he never forgot about Ken. He missed his brother every day. One day he was painting in his studio when he felt a familiar feeling come over him. He stopped and closed his eyes. It was a feeling of intense pride, and he knew that it wasn't his. He smiled and shook his head. In that moment he understood that Ken was still with him, that his brother was proud of him, that Ken was the reason why he had become a painter in the first place. They had shared a passion for art and music, and when Ken died, Kai had almost given up on it. But now he knew that he had to keep creating, that he had to keep moving forward. That's when he picked up his paintbrush again and started painting. He didn't know what his next masterpiece would be, but he knew that it would be amazing. Just like his brother, Ken might be gone, but his legacy will live on forever. Through his paintings, through his art, through his memories. The end. Do you believe in miracles? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more content.